I feel like this is the first time in my life where I feel like I finally got into a place where I can actually build a foundation. Like before, when I was doing things, I feel like it's always been sort of a pseudo foundation that I'm not really being diligent with, that eventually goes away, and then it's like I have to start again, and it's all chaotic. But now I feel like for the first time in my life, I've gotten myself to a point where I'm genuinely doing the diligent, proper thing of building a real, sustainable foundation that if I execute this successfully, I'm gonna go all the way to the fucking stars and beyond. And it feels great! But now it's like, okay, how do I afford rent? If you genuinely focused on your truth and your heart and your intuition and found the things you really want to do day by day, and you did those things, it would actually lead you not only to sustainability, survival, security, it would actually lead to your thrival, your actual dream life, right? And there is no need to like go out of your way to make it happen. Like if you actually just had faith that you follow this path of your most excitement, as Bashar would say, it would actually work out in the most abundant favor way possible. At the moment, I still have like curiosities about the first side of like, okay, I'm doing this, let's do this thing called Sidekicker, which is what I'm doing, and it's like an app where you do like side quests and stuff. It's like, it's really cute. You kind of go on the app and there's like a notice board, a bulletin board, if you will, like a listings of jobs that you could apply for, and they refresh every day, every week, and you can always, do different things, and it's so fun, it's so great, you can have all these like variety of experiences and meet all these people, and I actually really love the whole fact it's available. Like, it really gamifies life in a way. It really feels like, this is like the bulletin board side quest version of the modern day life. Maybe it's not as exciting as like going to a bulletin board and being like, okay, you need to slay these like goblins at the edge of the field and we'll give you 3 gold or whatever, right? Like not as exciting, but it's like, hey, we need a theater usher for tonight. You gotta usher some people into the theater. You get to watch the show. You get to meet a bunch of people, get amongst like the amazing vibes at the theater, all that jazz. Like it's also really, really fun. Like, like maybe not as epic, but alas, I will take it. Modern day side questing. Okay, let's do that. Let's do Uber Eats or something, and if you combine the two and you work like, let's say 15 hours a week, that's at the very least enough to pay rent and survive, right? On a side note as well, I feel like you don't really need to work that many hours if you just want to survive. Like, especially if you're not living in an apartment by yourself and your rent is cheaper, like you really only need to work like, I don't know, yeah, like 12 to 15 hours a week if you want to cover rent and food and maybe like a bit of public transport. Like, it's really all you need to have a minimum level of support for your other things, and hopefully you make a bit of money from your actual passions and your dreams, and then overall that combines to make sure you can survive and thrive, and you just keep doing what you're doing. Because essentially, we're not trying to make money to just pay rent. Like we're paying money so that we have time to do the things we really want to do, right? It's like you just want to make sure that you can survive long enough to the point where your dreams really take off and you can just make a living off your dreams, right? So you're really just doing it for time. So that's like, if you spend too much time and energy in the actual surviving and you like squeeze out the time for your actual dreams to occur, then it's like, well, what's the point? Like you're focusing too much on that side of the spectrum. And ideally, it's like you find a balance in between. It's like, well, what's like the minimum amount of hours I need to work in order for me to pursue my dreams? Like, what is like the min-max of the situation, right? And this, again, this is still in theory 1 of like, okay, I need to do some side things to make sure I can sustain my life. Well, actually, theory 1 and theory 2, they're both on the spectrum, like, for example, like on the extreme of the theory 1 spectrum is like people that work full-time jobs and they hate their life, they hate their job, and it's like they don't know where they're going with their life, and it's like it's like they're just in this endless loop of corporate life, and it's maybe it's a bit gray or what have you. And then on the other complete side, it's like maybe starving artists, like they're really pursuing their dreams, but then they really don't have enough money to actually maybe survive, or or like it gives them so much anxiety that they don't have stability that they can't actually do the art that they really want to do, right? So it's like You want to be somewhere in between. And I think for the individual, this varies where you are on the spectrum. Some people maybe want more security to actually feel like they have a semblance of a foundation to actually pursue their dreams, while some people, they might not need as much security to actually feel the safety to do what they really want to do. Because ultimately, and I'm probably that type anyway, the more freedom part, you just want the feeling of safety. Like, I'm safe enough and I'm stable enough to actually do the things I want to do, right? As long as you have that feeling, that's all you really need. We're all just after that feeling, when we're working hours at a job to make money. All we're after is this feeling of safety and stability. Like, I'm safe and I'm okay, therefore I can do things that maybe it won't make me money, but it's what I really enjoy, right? But and a big but, I feel like if you are evolved enough and conscious enough to realize the bigger picture of the whole universe and how there's quantum infinite potentials all around you all the time, and anything everywhere all at once can happen at any time, then you fully commit into the freedom aspect, the dream aspect. You don't worry at all about trying to, I need to make sure I work at least 15 hours a week to, no, it's like you just full send the infinite potential because you're so in tune with your intuition that you know exactly what you need to do every single day. You're following your dharma. That, I believe, also is very much likely gonna make everything happen for you, all your dreams happen, and all the money you could ever need will be brought to you. 100%. But if you're not there yet, maybe, work 10 hours a week just in case. But I think it is this like slow, gradual transition from like, okay, I need to do like some less relevant things in my life because I feel like I need to, because I have a fear that if I don't, I'm not going to survive and I'm not going to be safe, so that I get the feeling of safety so that I can actually do the things I want to do, right? You start with that, and then like the more you transition into, the more energy and substance you put into your dreams, the more faith you have that your dreams will actually work out, and eventually you'll transition completely into your dreams and what you actually want to do with your life. But I feel like, yeah, I'm not fully at the dream level yet. Like, I still have doubts, I'm still scared, and X, Y, and Z. But at the same time, I do have a genuine curiosity of living this like more meek, humble sort of life where I am working these like part-time jobs, doing food delivery or what have you, and making just the basic enough to cover rent, because that sits really comfortably in my ego, in my mind, like this satisfaction of like, yes, I'm being a good boy and I'm ticking the boxes of what I should be doing to survive. I genuinely want to have this experience of like getting off on this like little like normal life that I have left before I fully go into the quantum realm and jump into my dreams and that whole thing takes off, right? Because I feel like once that does take off, it's not going to feel the same. It's going to be very hard to try and live normally ever again. And I want to experience sort of, I think, again, this feeling of normalcy, like of just being your everyday like earthling, right? Before I really become truly weird as the person that I really am. Truly, 特别. So I applied for Uber Eats like 2 months ago, but like they have a wait list and I haven't been able to get into the actual program. I rented out a whole e-scooter, I bought an Uber Eats bag, but I still haven't been able to do it. And I also signed up for DoorDash, and similar thing, they have a wait list. So the universe is just blocking me from doing food delivery. Because in my mind, I had this like really cute idea of like, okay, let's just do Uber Eats to pay rent while I do like acting and content creation, which is the things I really want to do, and that'll work out. Fucking got waitlisted, so I'm like, I need a different option. So I found Sidekicker, because right now I make a bit of money from YouTube ads, like very little, and a bit of money from Facebook real ads as well. This only happened recently. In the last month, I made $9.43 US from Facebook real ads, which was like fucking amazing. Because I feel like I don't really post that much on Facebook anyway, or haven't really tried nowadays. So I'm like, well, if I really actually start doing YouTube more, which I genuinely want to do, not just because I want to make ad money, because I genuinely want to make content, and there's some ideas I'll go into detail later about. It's like, well, I could actually pull this off. I think I could actually pull this off. Like, yeah, it will start a bit slow. Maybe I'll make like $10 a month, but maybe the next month it's 20, and then it's 40, and then it's like 100, and then who knows, maybe it's enough to cover rent, right? Even if I don't fully make enough money to cover rent, I can, and I only make a partial amount to cover my expenses, at the very least, it would extend my time further to hopefully to the point where the dream stuff comes through enough that and I'm able to sustain myself. It's really just a factor of time. It's like having enough time to pull it off. But I also feel like if I only really had a month to pull it off and I had no other option except to do content creation, a month is all I will really need. Perhaps time is not even relevant. It's not even a thing. It's like you have as much time as you actually need. The fear of not having enough time is only a human-created egoic fear that doesn't actually have any real basis in reality, potentially. The other big content idea project that I've had is that I feel like is actually really important, and it's probably like the best thing I can contribute to society at this point. And it's to summarize books where I found were really wise and really helpful for me, and then just make content about them on the internet, and teach my followers and people that like the way I communicate the information that helped me. And I think that would be a really good contribution to society. So like one book I really found helpful was this book called Quantum Networking by Sam Rossi. And for me, it's like, she probably doesn't realize it herself, or maybe she does already by now, but it's like she takes a lot of actually typical religious wisdoms, from Buddhism or Christianity, Taoism, Hinduism, what have you, and she puts it in like extremely modern language with absolutely zero jargon that makes a lot of sense and is very practical. And it's helped me put a lot of pieces together of my own learnings throughout the years. So I actually I finished the summary for the first book, but throughout writing the summary, I realized I added so many original insights that I might as well just make my own book. So I'm either going to write my own book and then sell that book while making video summaries of my own book, or I will summarize other people's books and then have an affiliate link to buy the book, where if someone does buy the book through my recommendation, I get a bit of income as well from that. And then on the acting side, and this is really the big play, I feel like, at this point. It's like, this is where I feel like the most quantum collisions would occur and the most magical shit would happen is through the acting side, which is why I also love it so much. If I do get into the agent I applied for, I had an agent before, but I left New Zealand. I left them when I came back. They didn't want me back. Their books are full or what have you, and that's fine. Love to them, and no hard feelings really at all. Let's say I do get into another agency and I do, at the very least, some commercials for us to start with, make a couple of grand from that. And woo! I'm saying it casually, but I really have this big desire, this big vision to make just like smash out like couple of like commercials and just make like a fuck ton of money from commercials. I think it would just be so fun. Like, I love doing commercials, actually. Commercials are so fun. And you make so much money for like a very little amount of effort you put in. Like, it's just such a juicy feeling to like get that income through I love situations where like it's min-max. It's like minimum effort, maximum gain. So like it would just be fun, if anything, for now at the very least, just to do a couple of commercials. Like, that would be so fun. Smash out a few commercials, make a couple of $1,000s, feel really good about your money situation, just feel chuffed with yourself in general. And then you can pay for as many acting classes or workshops or whatever as you want. And all the things you really need to build your dream life, which I think I really already have, is just this feeling of like, maybe it's not gonna last, therefore I need to do things out of fear to make sure that it will last, which maybe will create a self-fulfilling prophecy in which will come true. And then it's like, well, of course, the commercials are great, but ideally, I get to a point where, let's say I work on my craft and I really enjoy the process, and I get to a point where I really enjoy my art as an actor, and I really do get auditions for shows and films that I really love, and I do work with amazing people, and my path to stardom just goes up and up, right? That would also be really amazing. So that's sort of where I'm at right now. And and in between these things, I'm dreaming, working on my body, trying to heal certain things, emotionally, physically, doing a bit of music, bit of chanting, bit of language learning when I have time. And I'm really actually grateful to be at this point in my life. Like, it's so fun. Like, it's like I feel like the possibility of being able to actually completely support myself and be independent, like fully this time, with um, no handicap or special privileges or what have you, to fully actually be able to completely sustain myself. I feel like if I can just do that, that would be enough to make everything I could ever want in my life happen. And I've never gotten to this point before, I think. Like, not with this amount of clarity and diligence and truth. I love you, and I appreciate you, and I thank you.